What's up, guys? Phantom here today, and again, I really wasn't planning on making a video about this because I'm not that type of channel anymore. But the point is, I did talk about comic book stuff at one point. Like that was my past. That was what defined me as a channel. That's helped me meet so many nice people. But what I want to talk about was what happened today with Stan Lee. His passing. He passed away at 95 years old. I don't know how he passed away, but I know he passed away, and it would be straight up fucking disrespectful for me not to acknowledge the man who brought me such characters as Spider-Man, who brought me the Fantastic Four, Black Panther, all of these characters to life, or at least gave us some recognition with them. And I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like the world had lost a very great person, a very great man, and it would be very disrespectful for me not to acknowledge that. And you know, I wasn't going to. I was actually super emotional when news broke out. Like, I think I cried for about an hour, and I'm not afraid to admit that, because at the end of the day, if you guys remember back in the day when Phantom Resonance was a thing, back when Phantom Network was a thing, I did comic book content, and the reason for that, I one day hope to have grown as a channel so big that one day I'd get to go out to a convention and meet Stan Lee. And that's, like, I never got to do that, and it's sad but true. And it's like, I'm pretty sure as a Marvel fan and as a movie fan, we knew one day it was going to happen, but at the end of the day, we didn't want to accept that. And when it finally does happen, it hits us like a fucking locomotive. And yeah, I know I should really watch my language, but it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. It had not just Stan Lee dying, but a couple other things I don't want to get into. But what can I say about this man? I've never met him personally, but I've always seen what he's done. From back in the day when he talked about his original interview, I think one thing I remember really fondly was his interview when he talked about presenting Spider-Man. And this is what really inspired me back in the day, to where I wanted to be a comic book artist, where I wanted to be a comic book fan, and I wanted to, like, at least pursue drawing or some type of art so I could bring characters to life. And he said back in the day he presented Spider-Man, and his editor was like, what the hell, you can't do this. Fans, I mean, people are terrified of spiders. And he was like, what? Well, I want him to be a teenager. And then the editor was like, no, teenagers can only be sidekicks like Robin and Aqualad and all of them. And then he was like, well, I want him to never have things go right. And he was like, do you even know what a hero is? And honestly, what he said, like when he presented Spider-Man and seeing how Spider-Man developed into that character, that's a beautiful thing. That's a fucking beautiful thing, hearing no said to your face. But eventually, when he became the most successful thing selling from Amazing Fantasy, that truly said that A, Stan Lee was motivated to get him on the shelf, and B, Stan Lee had done a lot of things. When it was Fantastic Four, pretty much we were coming out of just about every post-World War II, the Cold War between Russia and us, which, if you guys don't know what that is, the Cold War was essentially just the nuclear warfare that people were scared to wits of this war. McCarthyism, because I think it was McCarthy who was legit scared that everybody was a spy, and he was like, no. It's like, everybody doesn't want superheroes, but people do want family debates and all that. And so they had a family, which was the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was not presented as a superhero team, but as the first superhero family. And I was like, that's like, I did so much research and background on this man, and it's a shame we lost a great person, because even through all the rumors and lies that has happened recently, he still stood tall. Not just that, but Stan Lee was fascinated with anime and manga. And I know it's like weird to bring up these things, but I was like, I remember looking at Hero Man because they said it had some type of connection with Stan Lee, and I enjoyed the hell out of that anime. He also had some type of he had a hand in Tiger and Bunny, and I was like, yo, that's dope. He even at one point made like his own version of DC characters. Like, he made his own version of the Flash, he made his own version of Superman and Batman and Green Lantern. Green Lantern was fucking weird, but still, it was cool. And I guess I should get into how Stan Lee impacted my life, was just seeing that, how Marvel and how he ran everything and how he created these characters. I was like, I want to draw characters, I want to draw my own superheroes, and I do art on the side. So, and then at one point, like, he helped inspire me to do my YouTube career, which it may not be the best channel. None of those channels got big, but if you look, I adored Marvel and DC, and a lot of them are huge factors in my childhood. Huge. Back in the day when fucking Toon Disney, I think it was Toon Disney and Jetix existed. X-Men in the 90s animated series and Spider-Man in the 90s animated series. Like, those were amazing to me. And the most amazing thing, and I don't want to show it because of copyright, was Spider-Man, and he met Stan Lee in the office, and the two spoke to each other. And give me a minute, but yeah, just seeing that, like, that was dope. Seeing his cameos in like every Marvel movie, and it wasn't just like a Marvel cinematic movie, but even in the Fox movies, the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spider-Mans, the Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America Civil War when he calls him Tony Stank, you know, Avengers, all of the Avengers. Just, all of them were great. The Incredible Hulk. And that's a special feeling. Again, back in the Marvel animated universe, he helped make Fantastic Four and the Incredible Hulk. All of these characters, just so he could bring us what envisioned us outside. Like the world outside our windows, but with superheroes. And I think one of the best quotes he ever said, because me myself, I am a Christian myself, but he said he had no affiliation with religion, but he remembered the one thing he always remembered. And one thing he said, what to do unto yourself what you want done, do unto others what you want unto yourself. And that's a beautiful lesson, because Stan Lee was always kind and generous and happy to other people. And he got that in return. Well, he didn't always get in return, but hopefully people gave it to him in return. Because this man is visionary, and I don't want to like get super emotional, but this man helped make half the stuff that's going on. And again, the reason I didn't do this on my group channel, Maximum Nerdum, is because I felt like maybe the person in charge of Maximum Nerdum should handle that. But here on Brawler, we always acknowledge creators, and this was a gut punch, but at the same time, he can rest easy now, knowing that he left such a legacy. And it's not just with his comic books, it's not just with his books, it's not just with his, it's with the lessons he taught us through these characters. How he taught us with Spider-Man that our lives can be as shitty and as unpredictable as possible. We can always rise up and overcome them. How he taught us with the Fantastic Four that as a family, when you're with your family, whether you bicker or argue, you guys are still a family, you guys are still together. And that's the one major thing. What he taught us with the X-Men was that, that prejudice, that we can overcome prejudice and learn to love one another for our differences. What he taught us with these characters, what he taught us with the Avengers, is that the most unlikely people make the strongest friendships and bonds and shit. And that's a beautiful lesson in itself. So thank you, Stan Lee. Thank you for giving me such iconic characters that help shape my YouTube career, that help shape my childhood, that help shape my life, and generally made me the person I am today. And just thank you.